blast from the grassroots, connecting people and sharing ideas. Hello and welcome back to Durian ASEAN. You're with Gowri.
And this is Grace.
And we are moving on to our Blast from the Grassroots session for this Friday morning.
Yeah.
And of course, it's anything can happen Friday, and we have a lot of artsy stuff to offer on Fridays usually.
Yeah, and today is very artsy and very theatrical.
Yeah, and we have 3 people in the studio who are here to talk about the Wayang Malaysian stories. We have the director and 2 actors, and let's say hello to them.
Good morning.
Good
morning.
Hello.
Morning.
So we have, of course, Sabera Shaik, who is the director, and then
Yes.
we have Nik Hazlinda, who is one of the actors, and we have Kevin, who is also one of the actor. So maybe we can start by talking about you guys first. What are your backgrounds? Is it in theater, or why are you doing this? Maybe we can start with Sabera.
Okay, I've been in theatre for too long.
Yeah.
And I've been directing and acting as well, but lately doing solo work rather than ensemble work. Wayang, we started in 2011, something I wanted always to do. So this is the 3rd one already. But it's always been called Wayang and then whatever it means. You know?
How long exactly have you been in theater? Do you remember?
Do you remember? yeah. That's a good question. Maybe about 30-something years.
30-something
my
years,
God.
right?
Maybe 40
And of
too.
course, I've seen you performing back in USM as well when I was still a student
Yes,
studying
yes.
performing arts.
Mm.
And what about Nick? Linda.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually by profession, I'm actually a film and video editor.
Okay.
But I do theatre and performing arts for. It's just passion.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've been dancing and doing theatre when I was in Tunas Budaya. It was actually a Kementerian Budaya Negara. Yeah, they had a children theatre group and all. So I started doing all that.
So you work mostly in KL?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about Kevin?
Yeah, I'm a full-time performer. I am the singer from a band called Faz. I think Grace would know.
I'm just smiling in the corner.
But you actually studied performing arts.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
are
I
a
did.
theater major.
Yeah, theater and film actually, but mostly I'm now doing only theater.
And maybe Sabera can tell us how this whole thing started out in the first place, because Grace mentioned that this was the 3rd time.
Yes. I've always been fascinated by shadows, and so I just plunged into it actually.
Okay.
Until after I finished my first one, then I went to Germany to study or to learn from my sifu in Bamberg.
To learn shadow puppets.
Shadows, actually.
Okay.
And to see him perform is really fantastic. But this fascination has been going on, and when we did Malaysian stories, we wanted to tell our own stories, you know.
see.
And the actors gave their own stories, what happened to their grandmother and how the grandfather and grandmother met and
Okay.
all that. But the stories didn't have that compelling feature in them, you know. So, and then we spoke about legends and what they heard during when they were young, bedtime stories, and then suddenly all these 3 came together,
Right.
you know. And it was like, oh, now we've got 3 legends, you know.
Okay.
But they're still Malaysian because the Chinese kids get told the legend of Chisi, Indian kids get told about Narasimha, and the Malay kids learn Ulit Mayang, and campur aduk lah, you know.
So you incorporated all this actually into this performance, is it?
Yes. So all these 3 stories will be part of the Malaysian story.
Is there a justification to your fascination towards shadows? Do you?
It's a challenge, and it's also something that you need to be very specific, you know, on screen. When the shadow is there, you cannot do anything extra, and the shadow tells everything without even having to see the real person. And so for me, it's something different. It's challenging as well for the actors to be able to show their emotion on screen in shadow. you know.
And of course, I've actually seen the one that you did in Penang.
Yes.
And maybe you can tell us what are the differences from what you did then and this new one that's being staged now.
This one now we're using a lot of cutouts, a lot of cardboard cutouts and things like that, and the actors themselves will have to manipulate these.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're using light refractions. We're using a lot more music. It's no longer silent. It used to be silent, and the three stories are being told in different ways.
Okay.
Kevin will tell you how he
Right.
does the last one.
I
you
see.
know, so it's instead of words on the screen, we have other
So
ways of telling.
this time
the
there
story.
will be live sounds going on the stage
Yes,
at the
there
same
will be,
time.
yeah.
All right.
Mm.
So the different music, different songs according to different stories.
Yes,
Oh.
yes.
So Linda and Kevin, maybe we start with Kevin. How did you get roped into the production?
I wanted to get back into acting, so but coincidentally there were auditions coming up, so I just auditioned for whatever I could find, and just fortunately I got roped into the production. That's my story.
Yeah, in a way, it's pretty much the same as
Yeah.
me. Yeah, I wanted to come back and do
Okay.
performing arts, so yeah, we just went for the audition.
And how has the process been so far?
It's been a very interesting process. I guess I got very enlightened by the whole process.
You have to
Yeah,
say that
very
because I'm
Yes,
here.
saying that.
True. It's true because I guess my mindset of acting just changed after being in this production. It was a whole different experience for me. Not to say it was completely different. It's just a different perspective of looking in an actor's point of view now.
Have
Yeah.
neither of you done any puppetry
No, I
thing,
haven't.
shadow
This is-
theater?
This is like this is first time doing shadow play,
Mhm.
and I would say the method is very very different because you really got to be precise. Especially we are not involved as a actor. We would actually do lighting as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so everything is very kind of technical, and you got to change your one mood, you got to do the acting, and after that you got to do the lighting. It's
The scene here
Yeah,
very interesting in the
challenging.
house right now because we have an actor and actress in the one corner and the director is looking at them. So I want to dig into more questions regarding that. So throughout this production and all this, rehearsals going on, what's the most challenging part in this production, particularly because you also need to express your expressions on the stage with the puppets, right? So what's the hardest part that you guys actually felt?
I guess it's rhythm and energy. Rhythm and energy is a very big part of our whole rehearsal process. You can really tell when a run is going well and a run is not going well.
You mean you can't tell?
We can really
can-
tell.
oh, you can
yeah,
tell. Oh.
depending because if the energy is low, it will affect our rhythm, and then everything just gets thrown off. It's
True,
very
yeah.
obvious. So that's the challenge.
Then does it mean that you guys have to start all over again, and how did you actually overcome that whole?
we would note down whatever mistakes that we encounter, so we would try to do it again and then get it more precise
Yeah.
and then more perfect.
Yeah, because it's precision. Like what Sabera said at the audition itself is I'm looking for precision. So yeah, every movement matters. So yeah, the challenge is dealing with not just on screen but technicality from the back as well, for sound cues, in terms of entrances, in terms of cutout entrances,
Indeed, yeah.
in terms of like fade in and fade out
The timing,
lightings.
it's also very
Oh,
important.
gosh.
Yeah, because the person who handles the puppet, it's not just me, and I would always have another person doing after me and stuff like that. So the timing of our, it's actually teamwork.
I see.
Yeah.
What about in
Very-
terms of direction? What were the challenges that you encountered?
Because it's something new, you don't have many actors who've done this, so it's trying to change their mindset about this is shadow, it's shadow, it's shadow,
Did,
you
did
know?
they get
Yeah.
it when they came for auditions? Did they know what they were getting themselves into? You think?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Because we did a lot of physical work during
Okay.
auditions because I wanted to see if they had supple enough bodies
Right.
to be able to do stuff. then as we did rehearsals, things changed around, you know. So yeah, now we've got this, which is really fantastic. You should come and watch.
I will watch
But that was very direct. Yes, of course we want to actually watch and then hear and actually watch the whole performance about the Malaysian stories. Yes.
Are there anyone else who's actually trying to infuse live actors and shadow together?
A lot of people. Yes, there are a lot in Ukraine. They've got a very big following there. Philippines has a very nice group as well. None in Malaysia, I'm afraid. You know, and I wish there would be more people so that at least I can have some company and exchange ideas.
Right.
Collaborate at the same
And
time.
why do you think that nobody is venturing down this path? Is it very hard to pull off, or does it?
No, actually, with one light and cutouts, you can tell a story already.
Okay.
It's just creativity, you know, just getting another friend to say, hey, look, do these cutouts for me, because I can't cut out for nuts, you know. And so to get someone to do the nice work, the artwork, and then you can tell a story just with one light, and it's quite easy actually.
Okay.
And fun.
Yeah. So what do you guys have to say about that?
I think it was
It's fun.
It was a very fun process, especially when it rains.
We
because-
actually did cutouts.
Yeah, because our rehearsals are outdoors.
Okay.
So when it rains, that's a problem. We don't have a roof on top of our head, but now we do. So there were times we were at the meeting room just cutting out stuff, you know. We were just talking and cutting out stuff, putting so much detail in our stuff just to showcase it, just brainstorming ideas. It was just rough cutouts because definitely someone else were doing the much more professional version.
But we did involve with the whole process of understanding the whole, you know, preparation of the play. Yeah.
And I want to ask Sabera again, because I know you've worked a lot with Ramli Ibrahim as well, who's of course a very prominent dancer. Does that affect the way you train your actors? Do you usually tend to get more
No,
get them to do more
I
physical?
have been trained in Odeon, so the way they train actors there is totally different.
Okay.
And seeing how seeing that process, you know, allows you to make adjustments for here. But actually, I would rather, you know, that they are really trained properly rather than giving them leeway to, you know.
So it's more of the realistic acting method, not so much on physical side.
No, a lot of physical.
physical as
yeah.
well.
I think physical work is very important in acting. It's part of it's your body, it's your instrument, you know, and you really have to work it. And they'll tell you what happened a month before real rehearsal started.
Yes, tell us what happened.
So what did you
two
guys
are
go through?
laughing away.
We discover, well, we actually learn more about our body. We did a lot of yoga.
Yeah, a lot of yoga.
Okay.
And I guess
and jogging.
jogging as
Strengthening
well.
work.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we started, we needed to boost our stamina, our flexibility, and basically need to have variations of things we can use on screen. So that was interesting because we had Ratimala to teach us all these things. So a whole month was just dedicated to just train us. That was a very incredible process because it was a very big self-discovery process for I think most of us, or maybe all of us.
Yeah, actually all of us did discover more about ourselves.
Yeah.
What we, you know, whether we are fit enough.
Yeah,
and stuff
exactly.
like
I
that.
realized I'm so unfit.
I think it's very important to have your own stamina built, you know,
Yeah,
when it
yeah,
comes to
that's true.
stage and to be able to act and then express yourself, because it's pretty a long play, you know, and you have to
Yeah.
be on the stage for a long time
Yeah,
and to be able to
non-stop.
carry out the
Yeah.
same energy to the audience. So it's very important. So it's very interesting to have this training session in this production. It's benefit for you guys as well as
indeed,
the
yeah.
to audience as well.
Yeah.
And also in terms, because you guys said you did yoga and you had to really stretch yourself out.
Yeah.
And have you actually done like any movement or dancing before this, or was it your first time? Was it like a
I-
shock to your body?
I have been doing dancing,
Okay.
but yoga is actually something new that I've been practicing now every day, and it's actually good, very good. Because I'm actually not as flexible I thought, but actually I'm not bad. Yeah,
Okay.
not bad.
I've
Yeah.
done no dancing before. The most I did was a crash course in hip hop. That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe going back to Sabera, when it comes to actors training in general, of course it's important for actors to be fit, to actually even train as athletes usually do. But that is also not something very common when it comes to Malaysian theatres. You are laughing.
Sabra always tells us that.
Oh, okay.
You got the spot. You got it spot.
Yeah.
On.
So maybe you'd
Yeah.
like to comment on that, or maybe why most actors don't resort to.
I think it's also the mindset
Mhm.
and also what they've been taught in school, or you know, there's no emphasis on training. You learn from the books, but you also have to know your body. You have to know your mind. You have to know your heart even, and how it feels when a certain emotion is required. And if you don't train by yourself on your own, you will not find out. Like they discovered themselves in this 1 month. Imagine if they were on their own in a place, in a studio, and worked with music, worked with whatever, you know, to find ways of doing things. They'll find new ways of doing things,
Right.
and it'll be much more exciting for their audience. You know?
Of course.
Yeah, and so you really have to train and keep on training to find. And sometimes when you're at your most tired, you find the best.
Yeah.
And that is what is required. 2 hours a day is enough, you know. But we don't do that at all.
That's really fantastic. And then going back to the production side, right? If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm a Korean, and then I know barely about this shadow play. And if I'm not mistaken, this one shadow play is also famous in other Southeast Asia regions, like for example Indonesia, and Malaysia is also well known. So in people's mindset, they think the Wayang is a very traditional play, and then this production team actually, to me, it's more like you're modernizing to be able to be accepted to the audience, and then to hear what's our traditional stories, Malaysian bedtime stories, right?
Yep.
So could you elaborate on the stories wise in this play, what the audience can expect from?
I'm not sure what they would expect, but I am sure they have to expect the unexpected.
All right.
And like I said, the way we are telling the stories are totally different, each one of them. Ulit Mayang is very lilting and quite musical,
Musical, yeah.
and the Narasimha is really strong and
I
you
see.
know.
So
and
those are the dynamics throughout
Yeah,
the play.
it's
I see.
different, the
and
three
the
of
way
them.
they move the puppets are totally different for both,
Mm.
you know. And then Kevin, you tell Kevin what you do.
All right.
New Lang, you know.
Very interesting about the three pieces. I don't know if it was intentional, but
Intentional.
I don't know if it was intentional, but all three pieces have a very interesting contrast and variation towards it, in terms of its setting, in terms of its stories, and in terms of the way it's being told. For some that the narration was sung, some of them there are subtitles, and some are being narrated verbally. Like the last piece, I'll be narrating it verbally. Yeah.
And you'll be going out into the audience.
Yeah.
Okay.
She wants me
Little
to
spoiler.
emerge from the audience.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean
What
that you will be
Linda,
blending.
you want to add something to that?
Yeah, as for me, I actually do a bit of everything. I do the puppets. I also do the lights. I also act. So it's pretty much, I would say, overall it is challenging, because I need to switch my mood, focus, the focus and everything in between of the whole show. It's really non-stop. So actually, I would actually do puppet, and after that I have to rush in and act, and then I have to rush out and then do the lights and stuff like that.
Seriously,
So,
it's
yeah,
chaos. Chaos, complete chaos.
I see.
I've never done anything like it. Yeah.
And I want to know, how has this experience probably changed you as an actor, or as a person, besides stretching out at your body and figuring out your flexibility?
For me, I think it actually teaches me a lot how to be flexible, not just physically, but also the mind.
In terms of creativity.
Yeah, because change is bound to happen, and I would say it's also instinct, because
Okay.
sometimes you don't know, whether your friend will make a mistake or
Right,
I will
right.
make a mistake. So
Yep.
all of us have to find ways to just be on standby and to actually know, okay, if anything goes wrong, I have to be alert about
Right.
it. So it's not easy. You have to really have the focus to actually do that. Yeah.
So you actually get to learn how to improvise on the
Yeah,
stage
yeah.
to be able to cover others' weaknesses and then
In a way,
Definitely.
yeah, because that's what live performance is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's yeah.
And I guess that's also the beauty of having the live performance on the stage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because
When
I mean,
things go
audience
wrong, they
can
just go wrong.
yeah, but then audience can definitely spot the mistakes if you guys actually stop in the middle of the
Yes.
story.
Yeah.
But then to be able to learn the flexibility on the stage is very one of the important factors.
What about Kevin?
Uh,
No, you're done.
I am not sure. Actually, I'm not sure. What was your question again?
How's this experience changed you as an actor, as a performer?
I guess.
How about
Very-
because you just
Come
got back
back
to the
to-
theater scene
Mm.
after
Yeah,
a long
after a long
time.
time.
After 3
So how
years.
about the confidence? How about the finding yourself
I
in terms of
think
skills?
Confidence build up quite a bit actually. I think it's also because of my band performances. So getting back into theater,
Theatre.
I'm much more comfortable. It was difficult adapting back into it, especially adapting into shadow.
Of course.
Yeah, I think it's not a different method of acting. It's just adapting it into to shadow. So that was a challenge in the beginning because it's very hard. Not if you want to show expression, you can't be looking at the screen. You have to look at the side and show
I see.
expression.
Oh.
It's just techniques. A lot of techniques is a little bit difficult, and the first few months of rehearsals was that learning the technicality of things, observing one's shadow on how our entrances and exits should be. I think that was what I learned most, a new experience of acting.
And I want to ask Sabera if you have any advice for budding actors. Let's say you have 3 things that you want to tell them, like in terms of preparing themselves as an actor. What are the 3 things that you would ask them to emphasize on?
Train, train, and train.
Okay.
It sounds like practice.
Yeah, that's
Practice
true.
will
Because
make you perfect.
talent is only 30%. The 70% is really training. So
And of course, you're talking more on physical training, working
physical,
out.
voice, everything.
Mindset
It's a
as
whole.
well.
It's a whole body system that you really have to get into.
And what do you think is the way forward for the Malaysian theatre scene? Because we are a growing scene, but we're still probably not quite there yet. So what do you have to say?
Changing the mindset, really. To say that okay, I've got my master, so I can do this. I can do. You can't. You need the experience, and
True.
and to find that experience is not easy.
Yep.
But you have to do everything. You cannot just say, "Oh, I'm a director, so I will only direct,"
Okay.
or "I'm an actor, I will only act." You have to do everything to be able to find ways of learning everything about the theatre.
Yep.
And then, if you really want to be an actor, you train, and you have to keep on going overseas somewhere to keep on learning new stuff, because theatre evolves and it's not something static. And people are doing a lot of things overseas that we have not done. And to be able to watch them, to be able to be part of it, and then come back and bring the new experiences. How many of us go overseas, see things and bring back, and
And that can definitely add more color to what we
yes,
already
of
have
course,
here.
yes.
So we're actually at the end of our segment. So you guys wanna quickly tell us where to get the tickets, how long is the show running?
Yes, you can get your tickets on Theatre Antiques online, or you can call us to book. because there's no ticketing booth in
Okay,
Auditorium
okay.
Bandaraya. And the performance will be on the 7th until the 11th of January 2015. But it starts at 8:30, but on the 11th it's a 3 p.m. show.
Mhm.
So 11 is on Sunday.
Yes, Sunday.
Right. So thank you so much for coming into the studio today and sharing your experiences as a director, as
Thank you.
actors as well, and all the best for the show.
Yes, all the
Thank
best,
you.
and we hope to hear more of events in the future too.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.